Hey guy, today we're doing a recap of UFC Fight Night: The Ritter versus Allen with an upset in the main event, and so I'm gonna go into that and gonna talk about matchups that I see in the future for the winners and losers on this card. Well, yeah, and so we'll just right away get into it. So the first fight of the night, sorry, the main event of the night, The Ritter versus Allen. There was a big upset here. Allen won by TKO because The Ritter couldn't continue after 4 rounds. He quit. Realistically, was completely out of gas. But I mean, he still defended himself well in the fourth round. He didn't take much damage. I don't see how he. I feel like it was around that he looked like he could have recovered a bit, but I guess not. Quit in that round. He did the same in one FC once against a roided up fighter at heavyweight. But this is a very bad look for him. Very, very bad look. I don't know what to say. One thing I will say though. In the first round, Brendan Allen defended himself very well because Rainer the Ritter was very, very slick, looking for submissions, and I think that I can see him get a couple of fighters. I mean, I can see him do that to a couple of fighters in the rankings. So he's not completely done fighting in the rankings, I don't think. But this guy will never be a champion in the UFC. I am ready to bet that $1,000 against anyone that Rainer the Ritter will never be a champion in the UFC. And one thing that was surprising is because Rainer the Ritter pushed a crazy, crazy pace against Whitaker to the point where Whitaker couldn't keep up with him. And now he just completely gasses out from and it's not like he was putting crazy volume. He was grappling, but he wasn't having much trouble getting the fight down. So it's not like he wasted too much energy on takedowns. He was able to get the fight down. It was simply is grappling, the change of positions and stuff. So that was a very weird way to gas out. Allen looked defensively sound in their grappling, but not close to anything that would give me any form of confidence that he doesn't get subbed in one by Hamzat or completely beat on for like Drickus did. His ability to stop a takedown is also not good in that aspect. So he's gonna be a top five. He's gonna be in the top five tomorrow. Number four probably like the Ritter, and I don't see him beating anyone above him, to be honest. But I think for Allen, oh, before that, the Ritter was supposed to fight not Dolizzi. He was supposed to fight with Fluffy. Can you imagine how much of a pace Fluffy would have put on the Ritter? Can you imagine how easy that would have been for him? How easy of a fight. He would have walked him down and just maul him until the Ritter gives up. That would have been such a bad fight for him. He would have finished him inside 3, I think. But I guess we'll go for Brendan Allen, a next match. I think either Sean Strickland or Drickus. I would be interested in seeing him against both of those guys, but I prefer a Drickus matchup. Sean Strickland isn't that entertaining to watch. Meanwhile, a fight with Drickus, I know will be very good. So I'd love to see him fight Drickus, which I think Drickus wins that fight, to be honest. But yeah, that would be it for the Ritter. Who do I want to see him fight? Fight like Dolidze. Dolidze as like a grapple in ADCC, so he's like a very solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. We could have some fun 185 scramble, make it a 3-rounder so that the Ritter doesn't give up. And yeah, that could be interesting. And more accurate for where the Ritter belongs in this division, because I don't see how that fight with Whitaker, beating Whitaker and then losing to Brendan Allen. That is, I'm a bit confused about that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think that highly of Brendan Allen. I mean, I thought he was underrated. I did say that. I picked the Ritter, but I said Brendan Allen has an underrated chance and he has very good striking. Turns out he beat him in grappling and made him give up. Next fight, Mike Malott versus Kevin Holland. Now, there was a groin strike situation, which the second strike didn't look like it. Well, it didn't look like it the cup or anything. So that was weird. But yeah, I thought to be honest, Mike Malott won this. I don't. These strikes are confusing for me. What? Kevin Owens always like even in his fight with Jack Della Maddalena, he just gets these like strikes. Do we have significant strikes? Okay, significant strikes. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Huh. All right. Well, Mallet 2-1. Yeah, I thought that was perfect. I thought he outsped him. With that being said, being Canadian, I wanted to see big potential in Mallet. I don't know if I see it, but Kevin Holland's always a tricky matchup for people. But damn, one time I know that Kevin Holland grabbed the leg, but he really looked like he put him. He scored a knockdown. Really looked like he put him down. Now Mallet wasn't out of it. I just think it was like an off balance kind of TKO where he just went to his back, but and Mallet is fast. He's fast. He's gonna have now in this matchup it was very bad in terms of his reach, and he's mainly a striker. His grappling looked good, but not dominant to the point where if he's fighting someone, actually flip all of this. Next matchup, I want to see Mike Mallet fight Geoff Neal. That's the matchup I want to see. I think that's a very good matchup. Very interesting. Book this. This is a perfect matchup. Now for Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's back outside of the rankings. This is horrible. Um, I don't know. Book him against the loser of Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim, something like a matchup like that. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Marlon Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. Now, this fight, people are calling it a robbery. I don't think so. I thought that round one. Look at the difference in strike and significant ones. Yep, all significant. And then in this, I thought that Ayman Zahabi beat Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera is a much better martial artist. My thing is that he's such a wasted potential, and I will do a video soon on wasted potential in UFC. I will go for every weight class a wasted potential fighter, and Marlon Vera is probably going to be the one for 35. He's the one I can think of right now. He has such a good durability. He has such a good arsenal, long legs. He has a good kick variety. He's got fairly good gas. He's never gassed out, even before when he has a little bit more volume sometimes. Ish. Um, but goddamn, in the second round, he had him hurt, and he started like walking him down and stuff, throwing zero strikes. Marlon Vera has zero volume. This is the problem. Marlon Vera is a low output guy. He lost to Figgy in a similar fashion, except Figgy is the one that knocked him down. And but Marlon Vera has everything to be a top 5 fighter in this division. And the only thing he doesn't have is volume. He's a low volume guy. He has a very good arsenal of strikes. He has. I don't remember much of his grappling, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure he's not a terrible grappler. He's not a deer in headlight when it comes to grappling. But terrible, terrible output. Eamon Zahabi did what he had to do to win, and he did win this fight. This was clearly a win. You know, Eamon Zahabi, Montreal, represent, and heading to the top 6, heading to the top 7. He's gonna take Marlon Vera's 7th spot, I think. And Marlon Vera, to make him win a fight like lower down the rankings, or outside of them. Maybe not outside the rankings. Do the Vinicius Oliveira or someone like that. Make him fight down until he can win a fight. Else, just get him out the rankings. After a certain amount of losses, I don't think you should have a 3-fight losing streak. Okay, depends. Without a championship fight? Oh, well, he does have a championship fight in there. That was a fluky championship fight, but anyhow. Yeah, he'd be on a 4-fight losing streak if he loses another one. I don't think you should have 3 losses without a championship fight and stay in the rankings. I think you should go back outside the rankings and challenge for the 15th spot or something like that. Peter Yan, when he went on his 3-fight losing streak, he lost a championship fight to Aljo. And so that wouldn't put him. Then he won to Song Yadong, so he could stay, where he was. That's fine. But you don't get to be Cheeto's like in the top 10 right now. He hasn't won a fight since 2020 or something. 2021 or 2 against Pedro Munoz. That was number 15. He hasn't won a fight in the top 10 since his fight against Rob Font, which was in 2020, 2021. This is embarrassing. Get this guy out the rankings, please. Or very much outside the top 10. Get this guy out of there. Please, for the love of God. The fight that I won for Vera, I just called it. Give him Vinicius Oliveira, or or you can even do a Charles Jourdain fight, but that's not the matchup I have for Charles Jourdain. And Jourdain should fight lower in the top 15, not in the top 10 right away. I feel like that's stupid when the UFC does that. And for Eamon Zahabi, I know he called out Sean O'Malley, but that's not a winnable matchup for him. Sean O'Malley would put belt to ass against Eamon Zahabi. That would be terrible for him. This is not a matchup he can win. Eamon Zahabi wins his fights super close against guys like Chito Vera. O'Malley completely dismantled Chito for 5 rounds. And Eamon Zahabi is at his best when he fights Chito like that. His potential is not at O'Malley level. A fight that I think he could still somehow win, I can see him winning a Deiveson Figueiredo matchup. This washed up, old version, low output of Deiveson Figueiredo, I can see him beat. To be honest, I can see him beat. I think I can also see him get completely knocked out. So that's a matchup I love. I think it's 2 37 years old, 37, 38-year-olds going at it in the ranking, and one of them is going to lose. And if he keeps going, then give him a top 5, because I don't know if winning by split decision against Aldo and then by split decisions against Marlon Vera, I don't know if you could get that much. I don't know if you get a chance at the top 5 right away. And Sean O'Malley would dismantle you. Corey Sandhagen would dismantle you. Peter Yan would dismantle you. Song Yadong would TKO you as well. And you're not beating Marab either. So it's kind of like, this guy, I think the only potentially winnable matchup is Figueiredo. Make it happen. All right, next we have Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Jesus de Vicious. I picked Jasmine Jesus de Vicious. And to be honest, I didn't know she was 36 years old when I picked her. She got hit with a good shot, put out cold. This is not good. When Manon Fiorot is TKOing you inside of a minute, oof, this was a bad look for her. I think she can win those like grappling matchups because she's a very good grappler, but can't really be fighting those girl with good strikings because Manon Fiorot isn't TKOing a lot of people in the UFC, and she completely whooped you. So this is it. It was a very good stoppage. Jasmine was complaining about it, but she was getting her head bounced off the canvas. She had like 10 unanswered strike. Good stoppage for Manon Fiorot. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you have to give her a title shot next, but I don't really I don't really find much appeal into that. Maybe if Zhang Wei Li gets the belt or something, but for right now, Manon Fiorot, I think yeah, either she gets that matchup or another real title eliminator. I don't know. I don't know for Manon Fiorot. I don't really have a matchup for her. Jasmine Jesus de Vicious, give her like Erica Blanchfield yard or fight down the rankings. I have no clues ranked at the women's flyweight division. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the division. So just give her a grappling matchup maybe. One she won't take much damage because she's kind of old now. Yeah, this is it. Next, we have Charles Jourdain versus Davy Grant, which was the fight of the night. Damn it. Hold up. All right. Davy Grant. Okay, I'm very big on Davy Grant. I think Davy Grant is without a doubt a top 15 fighter in this division. And for Charles Jourdain to beat him this way, with the flying knee, the weapons like that, that was so impressive. So impressive. Charles Jourdain looked phenomenal in this fight. He's looking good at 35. He's lean, he's mean, looks stronger. He looks so dialed in compared to when he was fighting at 45. And to be honest, that was an extremely impressive win of Davy Grant, who had just beaten Damon Blackshear, and he subbed him in the first round, submission by Charles Jourdain, after hitting a flying knee on him. I think that's the first time I see someone expose Davy Grant's arsenal like that, because it is true that Davy Grant, Charles Jourdain said that at the end of the interview, but Davy Grant is he throws these looping shots all the time. He's a hook machine. And he's very gritty and has a great chin. But Charles Jourdain was hitting down the middle always. He stick to the game plan, stick and move, and boom, hitting these shots. A phenomenal performance by Jourdain. This guy is going to be in the top 15 without a doubt at this point. And for Davy Grant, I was sad for Davy Grant, even though, Charles Jourdain presents where I'm from, and I love Charles Jourdain, but I didn't think he'd beat Davy Grant. I thought Davy would get it. That was my pick, to be honest. So, Charles Jourdain, what do I see next for him? Well, he called out for Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's off a loss. He needs to defend his spot. This is the perfect call out by Jourdain. I love these kind of callouts. This was a phenomenal callout. I don't like when fighters get outside the rankings and they start calling out for a top 10 opponent. This is BS. Like when, uh, and especially, we can call out someone like Marcus McGee, who had a fairly good showing against Peter. You had a very good showing against Peter Yan, actually. I was in my head thinking McGee is very legit. This one's gonna age well, and McGee has been putting belt to ass against these unranked 35er. So I think this is a phenomenal fight to make for like a very, very good fight between McGee and Charles Jourdain. I think they need to book that. For Davy Grant, Davy Grant didn't get his chance at the rankings, and he's fighting dangerous fighters all the time. I think you can do. They're both off of a loss. I think you can do Davy Grant versus Montel Jackson. I think that's a fight that makes sense. And next, you can get a shot in the top 15 again. But they're never giving Davy Grant a shot at the top 15, even though he'd whoop on this current version of Rob Font we have. I think it beat the David Martinez guy. I think he could beat a Kyler Phillips, or maybe not. Has he fought Kyler Phillips? I don't remember. I think he could beat these kind of guys, to be honest. He's getting robbed left and right against Daniel Marcos and Adrian Yanez. Anyhow, phenomenal. Love both of those fighters. For Charles Jourdain, give him the Marcus Miggy matchup like he asked. Give him a shot at the top 15. Davy Grant, give him a Montel Jackson fight. Next, we have Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. They robbed Kyle Nelson of a finish, but good lord, this was such a low-level fight. This was a god-awful fight. I hate these, oh yeah, I want to go to war, man, kind of fighters. Like, these guys are throwing terrible shots. They're just like no shot selection. I mean, good couple of kicks by Kyle Nelson here and there. This was a tough watch. I couldn't watch this fight. This is MMA like they used to fight it back in 98, These guys would be unranked if they fought in 98. That's my opinion. Or maybe they'd be like number 15. That was terrible. I hated that fight. I know it was a gritty fight, but these no-look punches, and they're not like roofie no-look punches. They're just throwing these strikes out there, like dipping their head, looking at their feet, and throwing these hooks because they're scared to get hit. But then still going down, crashing. I don't know. I hated that fight. Kyle Nelson next. Give him another unranked fighter. Please don't get this guy. Please don't get this guy a fight in the ranking. He's gonna get flipping smoke. And Matt Frevola, off of another loss. Make him fight. I don't know. You can feed one of those guys to Roofy. Probably. Roofy's ranked now, number 15. Never mind. Such a stupid ranking for Roofy. This guy lost to number 13. Let's put him in the rankings. What is this? Let's put Roofy above the rankings, above a guy like Fares Ziam. That makes sense. Okay, for Matt, I don't match these guys up with whoever you want. Honestly, unranked guys, random matchup. Do Kyle Nelson versus Drew Dober or something. He's gonna get KO'd probably. Even though Drew Dober's out here getting chinned by people nowadays, this is weird. And do Matt Frevola versus Michael Johnson. Yeah, do Matt Frevola versus Michael Johnson. That's not a bad matchup. Calper Poleg versus Drew Dober. Well, Drew Dober almost got finished at a certain point at the bell. So that was crazy. But besides that, outstruck him the whole time. Drew Dober looked alright. Got a KO in the end. Drew Dober is out. Drew Dober is out of it. I mean, Kyle Propalik isn't even a UFC level opponent. And so I think Drew Dober. I don't really have a matchup for Drew Dober either. Drew Dober, who can we put him against? Those guys were. It's not like you're gonna get Drew Dober in the rankings. I don't know. Match him up with. They can honestly do Drew Dober against Kyle Nelson and then Matt Favola against Michael Johnson. That makes sense. Kyle Propalik, cut him. Cut this guy. Cody Gibson versus Aoki Lang. Dude, Aoki Lang KO'd Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson needs to retire ASAP. And Aoki Lang. He can fight. Aoki Lang is also kind of a bottom tier 35er. I think. Who do you make this guy fight? Those are hard to match up because those guys are Cody Gibson's an old head. Aoki Lang. He's losing to. He lost to Damon Blackshear, lost to Rosas, lost to Aoki Lang versus Adrian Yanez or something. That makes sense. Next we have Bruno Silva who beat Young Sung Park. That's an impressive win. That is an impressive win. And, got the submission. So, very impressive. Very impressive performance by Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva can fight his doppelganger, Cody Durden. Pretty sure Cody Durden has a fight lined up though. I don't remember, but they can make those two fight. I feel like they represent the same thing in the flyweight division, so you can do that matchup. Bruno Silva is getting whooped left and right, but he fought Joshua Van Manel Cup, very high level competition. Now they finally giving my boy a break, and he beat Young Sung Park, who was also, they're feeding. Bruno Silva is like that meme from Steve Erceg against every opponent after getting ranked. He's fought Manel Cap, Joshua Van. Now Young Sung Park, who was also a very highly looked at prospect, who lost to Tatsuro Taira, who's absolutely phenomenal. So that wasn't a bad loss at all. And then they're giving him Bruno Silva probably as at least we'll get you ranked, And Bruno Silva pulls it off. So, big win for him. Yeah, do him versus Cody Durden or something. And then Young Sung Park, give him another grappling matchup with, give him a Ray Tsuruya fight. I think that's an interesting fight. I like that fight. Ray Tsuruya versus Young Sung Park. Next, Danny Barlow versus Jourdain Santos. Jourdain Santos, didn't he lose to Ozzy Diaz? I don't remember well. Let me see. I hope not. Yeah. This is the guy that lost to Ozzy Diaz, and now he beats Danny Barlow. Danny Barlow was on a 2-fight winning streak at welterweight, 2-0 or 3-0. It was looking good. He had a good left hand, right hand. And people were looking at him and going, okay, this guy is like a bit of a prospect. Then Sam Patterson KO'd him. Now he decided, all right, I'll go up in weight. And then he loses to Jourdain Santos, who's like a one more middleweight, Yuri Prohaska, who's lost to Ozzy Diaz. And by the way, Ozzy Diaz was one of those can that was lined up for Ateba Gauthier to run through. He's like one of those not so good, like very, very, very low level middleweight that Ateba Gauthier would have knocked out in 15 seconds. And Barlow's losing to a guy that lost like this up a weight class. Yo, this was a very bad card for lighter man scale, by the way, for Danny Barlow, middleweight, and then we have we have Kyle Nelson who showed up at lightweight, did this, so that's good. But we have Charles Jourdain, but this was such a low level fight. I don't even know if we should count it. And then we have Charles Jourdain who beat Davy Grant, staple in the bantamweight division, right outside the top 15, which he wasn't getting close to. Well, he was somewhat close to at featherweight. So lighter man skill hasn't been, the stock has been a little bit down with this card. But Jordan Santos, I don't have matchups for these guys. I really don't. If Danny Barlow had won, I would have been like, okay, but now this is really not good. I have no clue who to match these guys up. I have no clue to match these with, but I did pick Stefani Luciano to beat her. And she did. She really did. She subbed her, so that's very good. Very good. So one of my pick, it. And next we have Azamat Bekoyev, who lost to Yusri Belgarwi. So that was an impressive performance. Completely outstruck him and got the takedown, but couldn't do, anything crazy. Got completely outstruck every single round. Azamat Bekoyev was 2-0, getting KOs in the UFC, and this guy was like 5-3 record, or 8-3. 8-3. Now it's 9-3. That's a terrible record getting inside the UFC, but this guy did it because he trains with Pereira, has very slick striking. He's tall, so he's gonna be, and he's gonna work on his takedown defense, his grappling. Trains with Pereira, so yeah, I think this guy has a somewhat bright future ahead of him in the middleweight division. For Azamat Bekoyev, I think you can match him up with Zachary Reese. I think that fight makes sense. See if he's still really above those bottom of the barrel 85er. And for Yusri Belgari, I'd love to see him fight. There's this guy in this division, I forget his name. I have Mario Pinto in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's Mario. And I don't remember if he's a fighting nurse, but he's a Brazilian. You know what I'm talking about. He had that very slick striking performance against... I have Trey Ogden in my head, but that's not Trey Ogden. He had that very slick performance, striking performance, was hitting spinning back kicks. His name is Mario something, and he's Brazilian. You know what I'm talking about. If you know it, name it in the comment. Get it. And next I have Melissa Crowden, who TKO'd Tainara Lisboa. I picked Melissa Crowden. I didn't watch any of her fight, but I saw that she had a lot of finishes. And I thought that was good for a woman, and I guess I was right. So now we'll see how I did on picks. I think I did god-awful on this card in terms of picks. I don't remember all of my picks, to be honest, but I remember I picked Rainer the Ritter, so that's 0-1. I picked Mike Malice, so that's 1-1. I don't remember what I picked for this one. I feel like I would have picked Zahabi. I will update it in the comment section of this card for how I did on picks. Next we have this one I picked Jazz the Vicious, so that's not good. I picked Davy Grant. So now from those that I remember, I'm 1-3. I don't remember who I picked for this one. 1-3. I picked Drew Dober for sure, so 2-3. 2-4. 2-5. 2-6. 3-6. 3-7. 4-7. So it's really gonna depend on who I picked for this fight, and is there another one that I don't remember for this one either. Who I picked. So 4-7. That's not good. Well, I'll update it in the comment. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and give me your matchups that you want to see next. And stay tuned. I got new videos coming out pretty much every single day. Thank you for your time.